Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do something interesting. Yes, we are going to solve a question of TOC. TOC, yes, theory of computation. So I've heard many students saying TOC is very difficult. We are going to, leave this subject for the exam. We are going to leave this. We are going to practice other subjects. We are going to make other subjects strong. At least we score something out of that. This is very difficult subject, so let's just make it something easier for you. Let's make the subject easier. Let's do some very important questions. Let's make some points, at least some points, some strong points for you, right? Let's make some topics stronger for you so that you gain some confidence. And trust me guys, you need to do all the subjects. If you leave one of these subjects in GATE, you cannot afford to leave any one of the subjects because you don't know when they turn it upside down and just, give the entire paper or majority of the paper from one of the subjects. And it really happened in 2013, I guess. The entire paper, most of its part was focused on TOC. So you cannot gamble like this by leaving out some of the subjects and think of scoring a good GATE score. So let's start with this topic. This is one of the all-time favorites, you can say, when TOC, as far as TOC is concerned. Drawing a DFA. I've already uploaded some videos on this. Uh, I've already uploaded a video stating a very simple method, easy method to learn how to draw a DFA. You can just have a quick overview of that by viewing that video. I'll insert the link in this description of this video. And in this particular session, we are going to take up GATE 2020's question. Yes, it did appear in GATE 2020, and this question is a very simple, very basic one, but those who practice TOC, for them it is very simple, and for those for whom it is not that simple, it will become simple after this video session. So let's quickly dive into the question and let's see how we solve it. So the question says, this is question number 51 from this GATE 2020 question set paper. I got it from IIT Delhi's website. You can also look it out from there. So it says, consider the following language. X belongs to a combination of A and B's, where number of A's in X is divisible by 2 but not divisible by 3. So remember students, there are two constraints over here. It says that it is number of A's. The constraint is first of all on number of A's. So it is only concerned about number of A's and there is nothing about number of B's. Okay, first important thing. It is only concerned about A's. Sorry, wrong option. Yeah, it is only concerned about A's, nothing about B's. Okay, next thing, it should be divisible by 2 and not divisible by 3. Now, when it says it should be divisible by 2 but not divisible by 3, automatically the clause it is inserting between these two conditions is and. Now this is very important. How it is important, we'll see it shortly when we solve this question. So three important things you need to mark in the question right away when you're reading that question. First important thing was that it is concerned about only number of A's. It is not concerned about B's. Next, it should be divisible by 2 and, right? And it should not be divisible by 3. So now we have read through the question, we have the question clear cut in our mind. Let's solve it. Okay, now how to solve this question? First of all, it is asking us, now what else it is asking? This is a definition of a language. What is it actually asking us to do? It is saying that you need to write the minimum number of states in a DFA that accepts L. So basically you need to again draw a DFA for this particular language with minimum number of states. This is very important. Okay, now how to draw a DFA for this? So my simple approach is, when there are multiple conditions, draw DFA separately for all those conditions and combine them. And it actually serves you to draw the DFA in smallest amount of time. Trust me, students, if you're going to practice this by using this approach, you are going to always, achieve the solution at minimum time, and most importantly, you are going to achieve the correct solution. So that is very important in GATE. Okay, so now let's quickly dive into the solution. Now, first important thing, now I'll just solve it in the manner I approach the question, and I solve it actually when I solve for GATE. So first important thing was A's are divisible by 2, right? So that means A's should be in what form can the A's appear? A's can be 0 in number, then 2 in number, or 4 in number, and so on. So that means in the multiples of 2. And 0 is also a multiple of 2. 0 is, when you divide 0 by 2, you get 0. So it is divisible by 2. That means strings with no A's should also be accepted by the DFA. Now this clearly means that the first initial state over here will be the final state itself, right? Because it is the only state where you can apply the constraint of no A's, and that should also be acceptable. Now next thing is, after you make this initial state, just first of all what you'll do, you'll make one state, right? The DFA will contain at least one state. So now that initial state is the final state. Okay, now forget about the rest of the DFA for now. So first what you do, you make the initial state, you make it the final state, because zeros A's needs to get accepted. Then next thing is, which next smallest string that should be accepted by this DFA is 2A's, which is AA, right? Now to get this AA accepted, what else does come to your mind? The next thing that comes to my mind is that strings with a single A should not be accepted. That means I need another state from using which I can reach the strings with containing a single A, and I should make sure that this is not the final state. So that is why I drew another state, which is Q2, and this is not the final state. So now another thing is, I need to get AA accepted. So if I just draw this line from here to here with the input A, what will happen? All the strings all the strings with multiples of 2 will start getting accepted by this DFA. See how it is accepting, Q1 is accepting basically AA. Then again, when you add another A, you'll reach the string AAA, right? After 2 A's, if you add another string, you'll reach this Q2 state, and it is not accepting it. Again, when you add another A to it, you'll get the string AAAA, and you'll reach this Q1, and this will accept it. So we have drawn this DFA with A is divisible by 2. But now what about B? There was no constraint or no condition on B. Therefore, B's can occur everywhere in excess of amounts, in whatever amount you require. So therefore I have inserted the self loops of B on Q1 and Q2, right? You take how many you take the required amount of B, whatever you require, right? So since there is no constraint on B, we just simply insert self loop of B. Now we move to the second condition. Now the second condition was that A's are not divisible by 3. Now if A's are not divisible by 3, I need to draw a DFA for A not divisible by 3. How about I first draw the DFA of DFA which accepts the strings where A is divisible by 3 and then negate it. That serves to be a simple solution. Okay, so and also a shortcut technique. So what do? I draw the DFA for A is divisible by 3 in the very similar manner in which we drew for A is divisible by 2. So now again I find the various possibilities in which Again, I find the various possibilities in which this particular uh, in which the A's can occur using in this particular language. So the A's can occur as 0 A's, 3 A's, 6 A's, 9 A's, and so on, right? So again, since it has 0 A's, we need to get this accepted. Therefore, the initial state will be the final state. So therefore, I drew Q1 and I made it as the initial state as well as the final state. Okay, so now this is the final state, as you can see from the double circular thing. Then um, since I need to get the next string which is AAA to be accepted, the next smallest string which needs to get accepted is AAA. So I need at least two more states, because with one A I'll reach Q2, with another A I'll reach Q3, but I have only formed AA till now. So I'll add another A and I'll reach Q1. And similarly, you'll see that Q1 accepts only multiples of 3. Let's say we form another string. Over here now we are with AAA. You add another A, you'll get A 4 times and you'll be at Q2. Add another A, you'll get A 5 times A and you'll be at Q3. Add another A and you'll be at Q1 again. And this is 6 times A. So in this manner, what will happen? This DFA is now accepting all the multiples of 3. Now again, there was no constraint on B, so we have inserted self loops. We have inserted self loops for B over here. Okay. Now we move on to the next part. Next part was what? I had to negate this. So now, how do we negate a DFA? It is very simple, guys. You just interchange the final and non-final states, okay? Rest remains the same. So we just interchange the final and non-final states. So that is what I've done over here. Rest entire DFA is same. I've just interchanged the final and non-final states. That means I've made Q1 as the non-final state. That is, now what is happening? All the strings with multiples of 3 are not getting accepted, and the other strings, all the other strings which were not getting accepted from this DFA are getting accepted from this particular DFA, which is this, the final states are now Q2 and Q3. Now the final steps, since we have solved both the sub parts of the question. First, we have drew the DFA. We have drew the DFA which was multiple of 2, right? And second, we have also drew the DFA which is accepting the strings which are not divisible by 3. Now we need to combine both of them. So final step is to combine both of them. So here I have both the DFAs, divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, right? So now how do we combine that? We already studied the question and we figured out that it is that both the conditions were combined using AND clause, right? Not an OR clause. So now what we need to do? We need first of all we need to form the states by combining both these DFAs. Now it is very analogous to a product. When you form a product of two strings, it is very similar to that. So in that manner, I'm going to explain this. So when you find the product of these two states, what do? You just uh, combine the elements written within them. Okay, so like when I find the product of these, I'm going to start with Q1 and I'm going to multiply it with all these three states. So the states that I'm going to form are Q1, Q4, then Q1, Q5, right? Then Q1, Q6. Similarly, with Q2, I can form Q2, Q4, Q2, Q5, and finally Q2, Q6. Okay. Now I have already drawn these states, but I have not drawn the edges that we are going to draw together over here. Now, how do we draw the edges? Let's just clean this a bit. Yeah, okay. Now, just study these two DFAs, and in the same manner we are going to connect the edges below. Okay. Now, just study that when you from Q1 with an edge A, you are able to reach Q2. So the same should happen in the new DFA. Okay. From Q1 with an edge A, you should be able to reach Q2. So let's see over here. Here is our Q1, here is our Q2. From Q1 with an edge A, I should be able to reach Q2. Now you may say that there is Q2 over here also. Then why have I not made this edge over here? That is because over here Q4 is also changing to Q5. Q4 is also changing to Q5. But in our previous DFA, only Q1 was changing to Q2. Right? So that is why with an edge A, only Q1 changes to Q2, rest remains same. You get this logic? Now let's see another transition. From Q1, you are able to reach Q1 with the self loop B. Okay, let's just forget about B's since they are self loops on all the states. Let's just forget about that for now. Let's see another thing. Another transition from Q2 if you see. From Q2, you are able to reach Q1 with the transition of A. So same thing we draw over here. That means there is nothing but this is a reverse edge also over here. There is a reverse edge also over here. From Q2, you are able to reach Q1 and nothing else changes. Okay. Now next we move to the second DFA. Right. We have covered all the things of that. Let's move to the second DFA. From Q4, I am able to reach Q5 with a transition of A. From Q4, I am able to reach Q5 with a transition of A. Now see, Q1 remains same. Only Q4 changes to Q5. Next, from Q5, I am able to reach Q6 with a transition of A. So, transition of A. Then, from Q6, I am able to reach Q4 with a transition of A. From Q6, I am able to reach Q4. Nothing else changes. A. Clear about this? Let's see below also. What is here? Now here what is happening? Again, over here, if you just analyze these two states, this and this, only Q1 and Q2 are changing, right? Q6 remains same. Then the same thing happened over here. Only Q1 and Q2 were changing. Q4 remained same. So the same edges will come here, right? From A, you reach Q1 to Q2, and you reach Q2 to Q1 using the edge A. Similar thing over here. And the same thing which is happening in the above branch is happening below. See, Q2 remains same. Q4 changes to Q5 using A. Q5 changes to Q6 using A. And similarly, Q6 changes to Q4 using A. Right? Now, if you analyze Q5 over here, Q5 reaches Q5 using B. Q6 reaches Q6 using B. So there are basically self loops on all the nodes. So over here also, we'll insert self loops of B on all the nodes. Clear? Now what are we left with? We are left with our initial state and final state. Now let's see it over here. In the second DFA, the initial state was Q4, and in the first DFA, the initial state was Q1. So in our combined DFA, the initial state will be the combination of both these initial states, which is Q1 and Q4. So in our final combined DFA, we make Q1, Q4 as our initial states, or as our starting state. Okay. Now, final states. Again, Q1 was the final state over here, Q5 and Q6 over here. So their combination will be the final states in our combined DFA. So Q1, Q5, Q1, Q6, yeah, that these two will become the final states in our combined DFA. Q1, Q5 and Q1, Q6. Yeah. So we have them over here. Q1, Q5 and Q1, Q6. So these become our final states. And this is our final DFA. This is our final DFA. Now we go back to our question. What was our question? Let's see. The question was that we need to find the minimum number of states in a DFA that accept L. Minimum number of states in this DFA. So you just need to count the minimum number of states over here. The minimum number of states over here are how many? Just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 6 states. So 6 is our final answer. Just write 6 over here. 6 for this question, and that is the final answer. So in this manner, students, we solve this question. So it is an all-time favorite. You always get a question of combination of DFA to draw a DFA, which is combination of 2 or 3 certain conditions, and in this manner only you can combine them. Obviously there are some other methods also, but it's always your choice to choose a particular method which suits you, in which you can reach the correct answer in minimum time. So this is my approach. I hope you like this approach. I hope you like this method. In case it did help you to gain or to learn something new, please press the like button below, and please subscribe to my channel in case you like my work. I'm always adding these kind of GATE and UGC net questions videos or concepts on my channel. And in case you have not pressed the bell icon yet, please press the bell icon. You'll always get notified of my new videos using that. And always let me know about any questions that you have by writing them in the comment section below. I'll be back with some more new stuff. Till then, stay tuned, keep learning, keep practicing, and thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you.